Okay, so we're making speaker adapters for the Jeep. These are the factory speakers that go in there. They're an oddball size. I don't know what size that is. These are the speakers that are in there right now. I think that these are 5 1/4. I don't know where they measure that. Anyways, I got 5 1/4 speakers and they were too small, so we're going with 6 1/2. This is supposed to be a 6 1/2 inch speaker. So you go down, but I suggest is you measure the speaker you're going to use first, so you get your inside diameter, and then you get your plates made up. I've got just under 5 1/4 on the inside, and I've got 8 inches on the outside diameter, so that's going to give us some space to play with. And go down to your local welding shop or fabricating shop and ask them to cut this out of some plate with the plasma for you. So once you get it, if they haven't already cleaned it all up and everything like that, you're just gonna chisel off the slag, and it just goes a little easier once you chisel that off to grind it up and clean it up nice. So once you've prepped your plates, fit it to your speaker and center it to the inside diameter. And once you're satisfied with that, you want to go ahead and you're going to drill your holes. This here has a series of holes. It's got the outside holes, it's got the inside holes, and then it's got I think 3. So you can fasten it with four screws or 3 screws. So there's 3 different bolt patterns on that. Once you've drilled your holes in your plate, you come over and you line it up with another one. Line that up, pinch them together, and then drill your holes in your second plate. I would only do 1 plate at a time. I've tried to do several at a time, and sometimes the holes don't line up, so it'll cause you some frustration there. Once you've drilled all your holes in your plates, you come over and you want to put your screws in, and this is number 10 Robinson head with 24 threads per inch and 3/4 inch long. So you put those into your plate, and you'll snug down all of your nuts. And what I did was I left one open, and I use a nut as a spacer for the same size as the head. So when you lay it down here and you bolt it to the shop table, then it won't warp it. It'll hold it flush there. So I'll leave a little overhang here so I can get my ground clamp on, and I'm gonna weld these up. Just a small tack on each side is good enough. You don't need any more than that. And by the time you're done, this is going to warp the plate because of the heat. But that isn't a problem, because you'll just bend it back either in the vise or by hand. And also too, what I use is some sockets, or you could use a piece of pipe or something like that. That's going to protect the threads when you're tacking this, so you don't get any slag or weld on your screws. Otherwise, you're never going to get them out. And if I happen to hit the socket a little bit and it's stuck on there, then I just use the ratchet and I twist that off there. So that's just going to protect the threads, so you can get all of your screws out. When I'm done, I'm going to take one of these out, and then I'm going to repeat the process to get the one that I missed. So now, and like I said, it's all warped. That's fine. You'll straighten that out and clean it up, paint it, and we'll head to the Jeep. So these are the speakers that are in there. I removed that. You could see where it was just screwed into the edge, and then we had 2 more here. So this is what they had going on, and we removed that. Also, I don't like Phillips screws. I like Robinson because they don't strip out as bad. They're just easier to work with. So eliminate those. These are the factory plastic tabs for the factory speaker, here, here, and here. So you remove those, and that's where I want to bolt in our adapter plate. So we got our adapter plate here. We started off with 8 inches all around. We fit it up and we trim it where we need to trim it. And because of the way the body goes here and in here, we had to trim the plate so that it would fit in there. So we're going to bring in, snug it up. And this will be the same thing too now. Once you've marked on here where you're going to bolt it in, you drill those holes out, and I'm using 1/4 inch bolts, and you'll do the same and tack those nuts on the back of the plate. This is going to make it removable if you ever have to work with it again, or you want to take it and put it on another vehicle or something like that. Saves you going through all the work of doing it all over again. Now our hole here isn't consistent, it's kind of off, and so what I did was I just made a quick template for the outside diameter from those outer holes, because that's all we need to get to is just the outer holes, the ones that are farthest away, to bolt our speaker in. So just put that template on there. I'm going to mark it out with the marker, and then I'm going to use the tin snips and I'm going to snip that out of there. Once I was done, I just took a hammer and I kind of hammered. This is all kind of, going to cut yourself and sharpen everything. I hammered that flat with the hammer, and then I'd grind it down so you don't cut yourself, and it's a nice cleaner job. We'll head over to the other side. Okay, so on the back ones, same kind of idea. You fit your plate on here and see what you need to trim according to the body lines to make that fit in there, and you'll trim that, make it fit. Line it up again with those factory spots where the factory speaker bolted in. Remove those plastic pieces and bolt in the adapter, and it'll be just a repeat of over on the other side there. You'll find out where you need to, with your template, where you need to trim this out and to access all those holes so you can bolt your speaker in. And we'll just go to the front. Okay, so the factory wiring here, this came out of the speaker kit, and solder and shrink wrap the wiring so it's got a nice good connection. I don't like to use those quick connects. We've got our adapter plate in here, so we'd snug that up. Just 1/4 inch bolts there. If you want to use a thread locker, you can. Might not be necessary. So once we've trimmed back this metal here, we've accessed all these holes for all the different bolt patterns for the speaker. So then we're going to hook up our speaker here. And we're using number 10, 24 threads per inch Robinson screws. These now that we're installing the speaker, I do believe these are 1 inch long now. And basically there you go. You bolt that in there. It's all replaceable, removable if you ever have to work on it in the future. And you can take it apart and fix it and put it in another vehicle or whatever you want to do. And that's it.